Libra, beautiful soul of balance and beauty, hear me clearly. Your hair is not just hair. It is your spiritual crown, and what it has been holding all this time may shock you. It's not just a style, a color, or a texture. It's not something you manage just to look presentable. No. It is far deeper than that. Your hair is a sacred portal, an energetic gateway that carries memories, ancestral codes, divine whispers, and hidden power. And today, in this exact moment, the universe is inviting you to remember what your crown truly holds. Perhaps lately you've felt a little off-center. Maybe your energy has dipped for no apparent reason. You look in the mirror and feel not quite yourself. The things that once brought you joy have lost their spark. And if that sounds familiar, then trust this, you are not lost. You are being called back to something ancient. Something cosmic. Something sacred. This is not a coincidence. You were not randomly brought to this video. This is alignment. Divine timing. The universe is calling your name, Libra, and it's whispering directly into your soul. It's time to listen. Your sign ruled by Venus is the sign of harmony, elegance, and sacred equilibrium. But did you know that your hair has been absorbing your emotional vibrations? That every strand carries energetic memory, echoing your joys, your wounds, and your untold stories? Your crown is not silent. Your hair has been speaking. And in this sacred reading, we're going to uncover what it's been trying to tell you. I invite you now to pause, take a deep breath, and place your hand gently on your head. Do you feel that? That subtle buzz, that warmth, that quiet electricity? That is the activation of your crown chakra, its sacred center, where heaven meets your thoughts, where divine guidance flows in, and where your destiny becomes clear. Libra, you are not just watching a horoscope video. You are stepping into a deeper communion with your own energy. And right here, right now, you have the chance to reclaim the power that's been silently pulsing through your crown all along. The Bible reminds us in Luke 12 verse 7 that, even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Your Creator knows you more intimately than you know yourself. That means every strand of your hair has meaning, every lock carries purpose. What if your abundance, your spiritual clarity, and your divine calling have been tangled in the very thing you've overlooked? So today, I'm not just here to read your astrology. I'm here to help you remember who you are. Because once you understand what your hair has held and what it's ready to release, your life will begin to shift in ways you never imagined. And if something in you is already resonating with this message, if your heart is gently pounding or your breath has just deepened, don't brush that off. That's your soul saying yes. Take a moment to anchor this energy by leaving a comment below with the words, "I claim my crown." Say it out loud, write it down, speak it into existence. Let the universe know you are listening. Before we begin, let me take a brief moment to thank you truly. Your presence here is not just felt, it is honored. Every like, every comment, every subscriber who joins our growing family here at Zodiac Whisper Tarot fuels the sacred work we are doing together. Your energy, your intention, your openness to receive this is what allows us to bring these life-changing messages forward. So stay with me, Libra, until the very end of this message. Because what the universe is about to reveal is not only powerful, it's personal. Let's begin. Sometimes, the most powerful signals from our inner world don't come from thoughts or emotions but from the quiet physical changes we ignore. Have you ever paused to notice how your hair responds to your state of being? When life feels heavy, when your spirit is burdened, when your heart is uncertain, your hair can become dull, flat, lifeless. And yet, on days when your energy is high, your mood lifted, and your confidence alive, your hair almost seems to dance. This isn't just a coincidence. It's a reflection of your energetic frequency being expressed through one of the most overlooked but sensitive parts of your body, your crown. Libra, as a sign ruled by Venus, you carry a deep sensitivity to beauty, harmony, and spiritual poise. You don't just seek balance, you embody it. But here's something most astrology texts rarely mention: true balance isn't passive. It requires an anchor, a grounding point. And for many, that energetic anchor lives quietly at the top of your head, your hair. It serves not just as a symbol of style or personality, but as an actual receiver and reflector of energy. Think of it like an antenna, subtle but tuned to the spiritual frequencies around and within you. In energy work and chakra healing, we refer to this space as the crown chakra, the gateway to clarity, intuition, and cosmic alignment. It is no coincidence that when this energy center is blocked, we feel confused, disconnected, or even emotionally shut down. But when the crown is open and clear, we feel calm, centered, wise. And your hair, quite literally, is the outermost expression of this energy center. That's why caring for your hair isn't just physical maintenance, it's a spiritual ritual. The way you treat it, touch it, speak to it even, reflects the way you treat your higher self. This brings us to a deeper emotional truth. Your hair often mirrors your internal seasons. During moments of grief, exhaustion, heartbreak, or burnout, many people instinctively say, "I feel like I need to do something with my hair." It's a desire not just for change but for energetic release. It's your body's way of saying, "Let's clear this out and start again." And that instinct is not wrong. In fact, in many ancient healing traditions, hair was considered sacred not just because of how it looks, but because of what it carries. Memories, emotions, past energy, silent prayers you couldn't speak aloud. And that's where compassion comes in. Instead of ignoring these subtle messages, what would it feel like to respond to them with gentleness? With mindfulness? With reverence? To see your hair as a conversation partner rather than just a feature to manage? Some of the most powerful shifts begin with small acts of conscious attention. A gentle brushing. A pause before a haircut. A few minutes each morning to bless your crown with gratitude. These moments ground us in the present, reconnect us to our purpose, and offer our nervous system a sense of ritual and respect. You don't need to believe in anything mystical to understand this. Even in psychology and trauma healing, we know the body holds memory. The way we carry ourselves, the tension in our scalp, the way we touch our head when we're overwhelmed, these are all signs. So it's not far-fetched to believe that your hair, being physically connected to your mind and energetically connected to your presence, can reflect the inner state of your soul. What I invite you to consider, Libra, is this: perhaps your hair has been speaking to you all along. Perhaps it's been whispering reminders to slow down, to care more deeply for yourself, to release the weight you've silently carried. And maybe now is the time to listen. Not with logic, but with softness. With intuition. With love. If that resonates, I encourage you to share your experience in the comments. When was the last time your hair mirrored your emotions? How did you feel then? This is a sacred space where we grow not just through guidance, but through reflection and connection. Your story matters. Let it be seen. You may not have realized it until now, but your hair has been holding your stories all along. Each strand has quietly carried traces of your emotions, your seasons, and the echoes of every connection you've ever made. While the world may see it as a surface detail, you and I both know, there is nothing merely superficial about something that grows directly from your crown. The way your hair has changed over time, its texture, its tone, its movement mirrors not only your physical health but also your emotional evolution. It's more than appearance, it's a reflection of experience. Libra, your energy is relational. You love through balance, through presence, through beauty, and your heart remembers deeply. That's why your energetic field is often more sensitive than others. When you feel joy, you feel it fully. But when you're wounded, especially by those you've trusted, it doesn't just leave a mental scar. It settles into your body. And for many, it settles quietly into the hair. The weight of unresolved emotion, unspoken truths, and lingering doubts can manifest as heaviness, brittleness, or an overall lack of vitality. In the field of energy work, we often compare hair to a kind of Akashic record, a living archive that records vibrational memory. Think of it like threads of light and shadow woven together, telling the story of how you've been loved, how you've been hurt, how you've grown, and how you've resisted. Your hair remembers the time someone spoke life into you, and it also remembers the day someone's words left you undone. That memory may not be conscious, but your body knows, and your hair quietly adapts in response. Even outside spiritual philosophy, we see parallels in emotional healing and trauma research. The nervous system stores unprocessed feelings. And since the scalp is an extension of the nervous system rich in receptors, it makes sense that emotional energy would concentrate there. So when you brush your hair gently at night, it's not just a routine. It can become an act of care that your body understands on a deeper level. It's a way of telling yourself, I see you. I'm with you. I'm healing with you. For those of you born on the 6th, 15th, or 24th of any month, this message might feel even more personal. In numerology, these numbers carry a vibration of deep emotional resonance, love, compassion, but also vulnerability. You may find that your emotional experiences are more intricately encoded into your body, including your hair. This doesn't mean you're broken. It means your vessel is receptive. And that, Libra, is a gift, not a flaw. There are things you've gone through that you've never told anyone. Maybe you didn't have the words. Maybe you felt it wasn't the right time. Or maybe you just learned how to carry it in silence. But your hair has known. It's been with you through every transformation, every letting go, every becoming. And perhaps now is the time to acknowledge that loyalty with a new kind of care. You don't need a dramatic ritual or spiritual doctrine to begin. Just start small. A soft touch. A few deep breaths as you brush your hair. A whispered intention. Treat your crown with the same respect you give your heart. Because they're connected more than you realize. In fact, many who walk in faith believe that God gives us not just a soul, but a body capable of reflecting divine love in tangible, everyday ways. Your hair is part of that. It's not decoration. It's devotion in physical form. Let your daily hair care become a sacred pause. Not because it's magical, but because it's mindful. And sometimes, mindfulness itself is the miracle. Sometimes, God doesn't split the sea, He simply gives you the stillness to see what's been right with you all along. So the next time your fingers run through your hair, remember, this is not just a gesture. It's a homecoming. A quiet affirmation that even the parts of you that have held pain are now being invited into the light. There are moments in life when we glance at our reflection not expecting anything special, yet something about our face, our eyes, our presence suddenly feels different. You can't quite name it. You just look at yourself and think, wow, I feel beautiful today. Not in the surface level way, but in a way that seems to glow from the inside out. That quiet radiance? That's your crown energy awakening. That's your inner light rising to the surface, announcing its presence through your physical form and most powerfully, through your hair. Libra, you are ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty, grace, and attraction. But your true beauty has always come from within. Your hair is not just an accessory to your style, it is the crown that symbolizes your sacred place in this world. In astrology, the crown chakra connects us to divine inspiration, creative power, and self-worth. When you begin to consciously acknowledge your hair as a vessel of light, not just something to manage or fix, you also begin to transform the way you show up in the world. In the tarot, the card most connected to you is the Empress, a radiant, nurturing archetype of divine femininity, abundance, and creative flow. She wears her crown not as decoration, but as a declaration: I am aligned with beauty, with purpose, with life itself. And just like the Empress, you don't have to prove anything. Your presence alone is magnetic. When you honor your hair, you're not being vain, you're reactivating the divine qualities already living inside you. That's not magic. That's alignment. In the realm of the law of attraction, everything you acknowledge with love begins to bloom. When you touch your hair each morning and whisper something kind to yourself, you're not just setting a tone for the day, you are expanding your energy field. You are sending a ripple of self-love into your day, and that vibration echoes back to you as unexpected compliments, serendipitous opportunities, financial flow, and connections that feel deeply nourishing. It's not a transaction, it's a mirror. You get back what you radiate. That's why I invite you to begin a gentle morning ritual. Nothing complicated. Just place your hand on your crown and softly declare, I honor myself. I wear light. I am ready to receive. This isn't about perfection, it's about presence. This small act tells the universe that you are awake to your value, and that you're willing to treat yourself as sacred, even in the tiniest ways. And when you start there, everything else begins to rise to meet you. Even in the quiet wisdom passed down through generations, there's a recurring truth. When we treat ourselves with care and dignity, we align with higher grace. You don't have to believe in any particular doctrine to feel that. Think about the people in your life who seem to glow, who enter a room and shift the atmosphere. They're not always the loudest or most polished, but they carry something invisible, yet undeniable. That's the light of someone who knows their worth, who protects their peace, who honors their body, including the crown on their head. If you've ever had a moment in front of the mirror where you looked at yourself and felt something deeper, something bright and inexplicable, trust that. That's not random. That's a soul-level recognition. Your light is showing. It means you're remembering. And if that's ever happened to you, I want you to comment below and affirm it. Say, I see the light in me. Let that be your truth today. No matter how chaotic the world may feel, this inner practice, this connection with your crown grounds you in a truth that cannot be shaken. You are already radiant. You are already enough. And now, you are becoming conscious of it. There's a gentle kind of healing that doesn't require noise or grand gestures, only stillness, presence, and a willingness to reconnect with yourself. And Libra, when it comes to your energetic field, few parts of your body speak more honestly than your crown. Your hair, in all its softness, movement, and memory, often becomes a quiet messenger of your inner world. When your energy is flowing well, your hair feels alive, responsive, vibrant. But when life has weighed heavy on your heart, when your emotions have tangled into confusion, your hair begins to show signs too. It may feel dull, flat, resistant to your touch. Almost like it's mirroring back the chaos within. And in truth, it is. Just as the body keeps score of unspoken emotions, the crown reflects the energetic blocks that need attention. Think of your hair as a white flag sometimes raised by your soul, quietly asking, "Can you hear me?" When the weight of your days begins to settle on your shoulders, your crown feels it first. That's why an intentional pause moment of honoring your crown through gentle rituals can initiate deep energetic movement within you. I want to invite you into a simple, 7-day ritual. A small act each day to restore flow, lightness, and grace into your system. Day 1 and 2, begin with slow, conscious brushing. Not while scrolling. Not while rushing. Just you, your breath, and your crown. Day 3 and 4, wash your hair as if you are rinsing away emotional residue. Use warm water, or even a few drops of calming essential oil. Not for the scent but for the message. That you are washing away what no longer serves you. Day 5 and 6, touch your hair gently, and whisper an affirmation like, "I release heaviness. I welcome clarity." Let these words seep into your scalp, not just your ears. And on day 7, sit with your journal. Ask your hair, "What have you been trying to tell me?" and listen. Write freely. You'll be amazed by the wisdom that flows. These acts may seem small. But in the language of the universe, conscious intention is the most powerful magnet for transformation. This is the essence of the law of attraction. What you treat as sacred becomes magnetic. When you interact with your crown through love, presence, and appreciation, the energy field around you expands. And when your field expands, so does your capacity to receive. I've witnessed this firsthand. A client of mine, after completing this ritual, received a job offer she had long forgotten about. Another received an unexpected tax refund that came at the perfect moment. One woman wrote to say that after 7 quiet days of honoring her hair, her ex reached out not for reconciliation, but with an apology she never expected. None of them changed their lives dramatically. But they changed the way they treated themselves. And that shifted the energy entirely. These stories are not miracles in the theatrical sense. But they are reminders that when we begin to show up for ourselves in the quiet, reverent ways, we open channels that had long been closed. What seems like coincidence often follows consistent alignment. So Libra, if your heart has felt clouded, if your life has felt stalled, maybe this is the beginning of a gentle return. You don't need to force anything. You only need to remember that you are worthy of tending to. Not as an afterthought, but as a daily devotion. Give yourself that kind of care. And then, just observe what begins to unfold. You might be surprised by how much light is waiting just behind the veil of what once felt heavy. Sometimes healing doesn't begin with you, it begins with someone who came before you. Someone whose hands once brushed your hair with quiet care. Someone who whispered prayers into the night when life felt heavy and uncertain. And now, even if they are no longer here in the physical world, their love hasn't disappeared, it has only changed form. It lives on in you. Libra, when you touch your hair, you may not realize it, but you are also touching the energy of generations. Each strand carries more than your story. It carries the resilience, the courage, and even the longings of those who came before you. In astrology, we often focus on your sun sign, your Venus placement, your birth chart. But there's another Mapan invisible one that connects you not just to the stars, but to your lineage. Your hair becomes one of the ways this energy is expressed, stored, and remembered. And Libra, with your deep capacity for beauty, harmony, and legacy, you are especially attuned to this subtle inheritance. When you tend to your crown with love, you're not only honoring yourself, you're honoring them. The ones who prayed for a better life. The ones who worked so hard so you could live softer. The ones who couldn't say out loud what they dreamed, but still dreamed of you anyway. There's an unspoken language passed through generations, and your hair has been listening. It holds the blessings and burdens alike. And when you care for it, when you pause to give it attention, intention, and reverence, you help clear not just your own path, but the energetic debris passed down through time. This is the quiet power of legacy healing. You might not feel fireworks. You might not hear angel choirs. But you may notice more ease in your choices, more clarity in your thoughts, more peace in your body. That's how ancestral energy shifts, through love made tangible. I often share this with my clients, especially those carrying a heavy emotional load. Healing doesn't always start with action. Sometimes it begins with recognition. Acknowledging that you are not alone. That even in silence, you are surrounded by unseen support. Whether you believe in spiritual guidance, or simply honor the sacrifices of those before you, the truth remains: you are here because someone paved the way. You are the continuation of that story. One woman wrote to me after doing a simple practice. She began saying aloud, "I wear the crown of my ancestors. I carry the light they preserved. I am the chosen generation." Every morning, while gently touching her hair, she spoke those words. Within weeks, not only did she feel more grounded, but she also noticed shifts in her relationships and sense of self. Her family dynamic softened. Her creativity flowed again. She said, "It's like I could finally breathe deeply, as if something old had finally been released." It's easy in our fast-paced world to brush off these rituals as symbolic. But the truth is, they ground us. They bring the sacred back into our ordinary days. They remind us that the past is not a weight, it's a torch. And you, dear Libra, are the one now carrying it forward. So if you've ever felt a chill in the room when you needed comfort, or dreamed of a relative long gone right before making a big life decision, know this: you are not imagining it. The veil is thin, and love never dies. When you nourish your crown, you are inviting that love to stay close, to continue its journey through you. If this speaks to your heart, I invite you to pause right now and comment below. I know I am not alone. My soul family walks with me. Let these words become your anchor as you begin to embrace the truth. Your hair is not just a feature. It is a channel of memory, of light, and of purpose. And when you recognize its power, you activate a healing far greater than just your own. Absolutely, Libra. As we come to the close of this journey together, I want to gently remind you of something many forget in the noise of daily life. Your crown has never stopped glowing. Perhaps it only needed your permission to shine again. What if the very thing you've been praying for, clarity, love, purpose, abundance, has been quietly waiting for you to recognize your own radiance? What if the transformation doesn't begin outside, but in the way you touch your hair each morning, the way you whisper intention over yourself like a quiet blessing? What if every strand of hair is not just hair, but a sacred memory, a seed of light, a thread in the divine design of your life? You see, what you've explored in this reading is not just spiritual poetry or metaphysical metaphor. It is personal power in its most tangible form. Your hair, your crown, is a living symbol of your emotional journey, your soul's frequency, and your ancestral strength. It reflects when you're out of balance. It radiates when you're aligned. It's not vanity, Libra. It's vibrational truth. From this moment forward, every time your fingers run through your hair, remember, you are activating a universe. Not metaphorically, but energetically. The law of attraction doesn't respond to appearance, it responds to energy. And energy responds to intention. You don't need to perform grand rituals or spend hours in silence. Even a 15-second conscious connection with your crown can shift your state from scattered to sovereign. And that's what this message has truly been about: sovereignty. The power to choose, every single day, whether you will wear your crown or leave it dusty on the shelf. The power to rewrite your relationship with yourself and, through that, with the world. You don't need permission to be magnetic. You don't need validation to be worthy. Your crown is the evidence that the light you're looking for already lives within you. You've simply forgotten to look up. So I ask you this, with all the love and reverence in my heart: are you ready to reclaim your crown? Are you willing to see yourself the way your ancestors saw you when they dreamed you into existence? Can you honor your lineage, your beauty, your resilience, and your calling, not just in thought, but in action? Leave me a comment below if your heart is whispering yes. Type, "I wear the light and I am ready." Say it as a declaration. Say it as a promise. Say it because the universe is listening and responding. Because here's the thing, healing doesn't happen overnight. But it always begins with a choice. A choice to treat yourself as sacred. A choice to see the divine in your reflection. A choice to no longer brush off your worth, your story, or your presence. And if you felt even one sentence in this reading awakened something inside you, didn't keep that feeling to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel, Zodiac Whisper Tarot. Not because it's expected, but because when you do, you help amplify messages like these to others who may be silently searching for exactly this kind of awakening. Your energy matters. Your presence here is not an accident. And your journey is far from over. So, my beautiful Libra, before you ghost yourself gently, will I walk through life from this moment on as if I am crowned with light? Or will I forget the truth I just remembered? My prayer for you is simple: may your hair always be a gateway to love, truth, wealth, and the path you were born to walk. May you treat every brush, every breath, and every intention as an act of remembrance. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt by grace. Thank you for joining me in this sacred moment. Thank you for listening with your heart wide open. Thank you for trusting that your transformation doesn't require anyone's permission but your own. Now go and live as the crowned light you already are.